This show is part of the HeadStuff podcast network.
Lovely stuff.
Hey, lovely, lovely.
Tell you what, though, folks, that's bloody nice. That is bloody lovely.
Lovely Holland. Lovely toys. Lovely Holland.
Hello there, welcome to another episode of The Lovely Show. It's a very lovely special episode of The Lovely Show today because Justine once again is not here due to mismanagement of time from both of us really. But in her stead we have the amazingly talented, award-winning apparently, award-winning, very, very good comedian Martin Angolo. Martin, you're very welcome.
Well, thanks for having me, yeah.
Have you won awards? Because like everything I read about you is like award-winning comedian.
I've won an award
What is that?
for comedy. I did a radio show in Irish years ago.
There we go.
I won like a Celtic Media Award, so
I was only Gaeilgeoirs were allowed.
it's only Gaelgors.
So just you and Aideen McQueen.
I don't even think Aidan was on it.
It was only dudes.
yeah.
It was a male-only Irish-speaking
Yeah.
a comedy award.
Have you won an award?
Do you know what? I was nominated for an IFTA
Oh, yeah.
for a Rising Star, and Al Porter won. And they let him keep it. Yeah, even OJ lost his awards. So no, I am not. I don't think I'm an award-winning. Oh, do you know what? I wrote a play that won All Ireland Drama Festival.
Oh, yeah.
So I could call myself award-winning.
You could, but it'd be a hollow victory.
Well, I mean, as hollow as a Gaeilgeoir.
Yeah, I know, but
comedian
it
award.
was stand-up.
It's a short list, man.
I know, it was technically within comedy. I'm
Fair enough.
counting
Yeah,
it, I'm
okay.
counting it.
My play was funny.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it was a funny play. So, I mean, that's technically in the realm of comedy.
You can call yourself an award-winning comedian.
Thanks,
I mean,
man.
everyone does that, don't they?
Everyone fluffs the numbers.
Throw stars on their fucking things.
Have you ever lied on your comedy posters?
No. Well, some of the quotes, I've had one or two quotes where they weren't talking specifically about me.
Mm-hmm.
It was sort of just like, people to keep an eye out for. I'd be like, oh, The Independent said I'm someone to keep an eye out for.
Okay, that's good.
It's technically,
Yeah.
you know.
It was in the same article.
It's the same art.
It wasn't like they were describing like a flood in Spain.
No.
Going like, devastating. I'm in bits.
yeah.
That's not how articles sound. So you had a good year?
What a lovely year, yeah.
You had a lovely year?
I don't know, this is weird, you sort of interviewing me or something.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm lulling you into a false sense of security with banter, and then I'm hitting you with boring questions. You just finished a tour and a Liberty Hall show.
Yeah. Thanks for having me on after when I could have plugged
I was just about to,
Really could have done with the plug.
I was just about to get to that. I was like, yeah, because I was looking. There's any gigs coming up? He's like, nothing. It's a blank calendar.
Swear to God, you're like, I've had a couple of people ask me to do things, being like, "Do you have anything?" I'm like, I just fucking had a thing. I just did a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the show was Idiot Wind.
That was the show. Yeah.
What was it about? Did it have a theme? I hate getting asked this question because comedy shows are basically, here's an hour of the funniest things from the last year.
Yeah.
But
It's basically that, but there was a slight theme of, and I say show. I say it in the set. It's like comedians call their thing a show. It's not really a show. Like it's a guy talking for an hour uninterrupted.
It was a theme in the way that Trump has an economic plan.
Yeah.
I have an idea for a theme.
Yeah. The slight theme of it was being a comedian, and these days, when people, if you're in a pub or whatever, people find out you're a comedian, they always go, "Oh, it must be very difficult. You can't say anything anymore."
Must be very difficult. You can't say anything anymore.
Can't say anything anymore
Did
these
they say it
days.
like that?
A little bit.
Yeah.
And so I challenged myself to joke more about sort of controversial subjects.
So you've gone anti-woke.
I got anti-woke, but not in a polite way.
Not in a Bernard Manning way.
Oh, but yeah, Manning.
Hey, you're a comedy hero.
I was literally 2 weeks ago. I was in Claremorris with Danny Ryan.
Ooh, do I know her? That doesn't work.
So we're in the sharing a room, right? And smart TV. And if I'm in a room with another comedian, I always show on Bernard Manning. So
Just to get the big bed.
and they were watching them, and we're like, okay, we each have to sneak in a line from Manning.
Oh, into the set.
Yeah. And,
Okay.
and his opening line is like 2 puffs in a van. You're like, okay, we're not doing that. We're not doing that.
Watch a longer video.
But Danny got the line in. He goes, he completely did not match his set at all. So he's doing his usual Danny Ryan stuff. And then he talks to a woman in the crowd and he goes, have you had a lot of sex? And the woman's like, a bit, well. And he's like, oh, she's a liar. She's seen more ceilings than Michelangelo.
I mean, like, people give out about Bernard Manning, but occasionally he's a great joke writer.
But we're analysing, going, Michelangelo, he only saw one ceiling, famously. Doesn't really work as a joke.
Yeah, it wasn't like here. I love what you've done with the Sistine Chapel. Can you do my ceiling? It's like I'm actually done with ceilings. My neck is fucked. I never want to look at another ceiling. It's a completely impractical way to paint. The paint would land on your face all the time.
Yeah.
You'd have a big colouredy face. Sorry about that. Just a partridge on purpose.
Yeah. But Manning, it's horrible to say. What's great about Manning is he'll have a couple of.
This is the clip we'll use, by the way.
I know. But look, you watch him for an hour, and there's 20 minutes of filth because he's just trying to remember old jokes.
Yeah.
And then there'll be a good few minutes of just clean whatever, like Michelangelo.
Family
And
material.
then he'll be like, I was in a restaurant the other day, and the waitress came over. She said, "What would you like?" I said, "I have a glass of water." She went, "Still, haven't changed my mind." Right?
Yeah, it's good.
And then he'll be like, "Nice clean gag that." And then he'll go, "2 blacks." London's full of Negroes, right? And this guy walks into and all that.
Yeah. Why do you like him?
I mean, it's the ironic,
Yeah.
I do love old fashioned things.
Yeah.
And I love that he'll do like a really racist joke, and then he'll do a song. That's the old
Just to
routine.
cleanse the palate.
Yeah. Black man walks into a pub with a parrot on his shoulder. Black man goes, "Where the fuck did you get that?" The parrot says, "Africa, there's loads of them." Right? And then he's going, "Fly me to the moon." The band starts up.
I feel like we should say to the listeners who aren't watching the video, Martin is black man.
Oh, yeah,
he is a man of black persuasion.
I dabble.
He's a member of the black community. So he's allowed to say stuff like that.
Yeah.
So your show was kind of is edging. It wasn't edgy, it was edging.
It was edging. It was I labelled it as politely offensive.
Okay.
I sort of one of the lines that was like, I'm going for a new demo. Some comedians go very offensive. And it's annoying. I hate comedians market themselves as edgy, and it's a bit shit.
Was the challenge for you or for the audience?
No, it was for me to basically, I think it was Anthony Jeselnik said the whole thing about doing controversial comedy is getting away with it. Mm-hmm. And my stuff is silly. So you're talking about, say, Israel-Palestine, but it's very silly.
Yeah.
So no one
can really get offended.
Yeah.
But a younger audience, as soon as you mention anything remotely problematic, they're clenching straight away.
They're clenching, but then I think, what I found was they get on board.
Yeah.
And
if it's funny, I think if it's funny enough.
It's funny and done well, there was a chance to try and write it well enough.
Mm-hmm. And is it also to disprove the notion that you can actually say anything still? If it's of merit and if it's funny enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do see there's a lot of gigs crop up every so often, more so in London, where it's like, it's a comedy club here, you're allowed to say anything.
Yes.
And there's no woke people allowed, it's just unwoke comedy, and you go to it and it's shit.
Yeah.
It's really, really poor.
Yeah, the people who sell themselves as saying anything usually have nothing to say.
Yeah. And sometimes parameters can make you way more creative. If 100%. You're told, okay, this show goes out at 8:00, you can't curse. You'll write a better joke.
100%. Well, when I started out, I didn't for my first year, never swore on stage.
Wow.
Wasn't a sweary person back then. And then, it's changed. And then never drank before a show.
Wow.
And never joked about race for the first year. To try and be more creative.
This is your 3 main things now.
And now that's all I got. Literally. Yeah.
You're just a drunk Dave Chappelle.
Year 1 of me is ashamed of what I've become.
Really?
Oh, so much more creative back then.
I think you're in a very good place now, though.
I'll think, yes.
You were on the Amazon LOL, last one laughing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that works. How was that? How was that experience?
Fuck, it's like fucking Martin King talking to me here. And where'd you get your start? What was it like?
What was your prep for that?
Prep? Okay, well...
Because you have to create bits. Like, you can't just go out and just fucking
right.
have a laugh. You haven't put in as much effort as you would a podcast, we'll say.
That's true. Yeah, well, I mean, it was a big production, so they were like, sort of an unlimited budget, which you never get in Ireland for anything, I was like, build me this. I want a double bass that explodes.
Wow.
Initially was the plan. And then I want to hold a funeral for a monkey. They literally, they never got used, but I literally have a little tiny coffin and a monkey puppet, which is sitting in Whelan's. I used it. I interrupted. I think Jerry Staunton did a solo show. I did a bit at the end where like, I'll walk on with it and I'll do something to show you.
How would that go? Like, I mean, I'm disappointed I didn't get to see this monkey funeral. How? I'm trying to think. Where's the bit where people laugh? Where's the?
I was going to hold. So
what was your plan?
So the plan was I was going to do ventriloquism. I'd take the monkey out of a sack, but then I wouldn't put my arm in or anything. Yeah. I was going to sell it as if like, oh, I'm a ventriloquist, but it'll just move by itself. And then, oh, he's dead. I was going to bury it. And they had a bucket of dirt, the coffin, and then they had music. They had a funny track of like sad funeral music.
Yeah.
That would go into like yeah. I was going to get everyone around in a circle to hold hands. And I was hoping that the tension of that would be enough.
Yes, okay. So creating tension.
Yeah. Okay. So even if it doesn't make someone laugh, it's a funny image.
Yeah.
Comedians around a mounded dirt with a monkey in a coffin.
It's an unusual show. Yeah. For anyone who hasn't seen it, the aim of the show is like you get 8 comedians on, and you cannot laugh, you cannot smile.
Not allowed to
smile, which I didn't realize. Yeah. For the 8 hours that it's recorded or whatever.
Yeah, the game itself is 6 hours, but we recorded for about 10.
Wow.
And it's weird because sort of nothing happens.
Yeah,
like you're trying to make each other laugh, but then nothing happens. So people are like, "Oh, and what's the thing on the show?" We just sort of just like stare at each other. Very tough to sell.
Because McSavage, I chatted to Dave McSavage after it, and he told me that he got a hypnotist to make him not laugh.
Yeah,
and he said, in hindsight, I don't think that was the best plan.
No. Well, he walked in and he was under. You could tell there was something off on him.
He was under a spell of some kind.
Yeah, some sort of sorcerer groomed him. And so he was just weird the whole time. And I think they actually helped him in the edit, but like, I don't know if you watched it.
I did.
Where he fights with Bernard O'Shea.
Yeah.
That was genuine.
That was kept out, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, they kept a bit of it. Like, it cuts to Graham Norton going, this is awkward. Because it was a crucial, there was no way to edit around it. It was the crucial, like, someone's getting eliminated now. Yeah. So we have to keep this in.
Yeah.
And he's arguing until the fucking bell goes. So
Bernard came out. They had extra bits where like other comedians would come on doing bits.
Yeah.
Shane Downey Byrne came on doing this really funny bit, I remember. And Bernard O'Shea came on playing a character.
Yes.
And Dave was just ripping down the fourth wall.
Yeah.
I think Bernard was like saying like, "Hi, my name's Brendan. I'm a masseur or I'm a tattoo artist or something."
Yeah.
And Dave was like, "No, you're not. You're Bernard O'Shea, and you were supposed to give me a lift home from Kilkenny in 2009, and you drove off." And Bernard's like, "Dave, just go with this. Which, like, to me, they cut that out, and I wished I saw that.
Bernard had a look in his eyes of like, this is my chance to get back on TV. Dave, you're ruining it. And Dave after, because the hypnotism wore off, and Dave was like...
It wore off?
Well, as soon as we stopped recording, it was like normal.
Oh my God.
And then he was like, I like Bernard, I don't know why. And he said some horrible things to Ray Darcy. And,
oh my God.
And then like him and Jason Byrne are good mates. So they're like riffing, like just when we're doing we're backstage.
Yeah.
That wasn't on the show. He did none of that on the show because he was under. Yeah.
I mean,
I think he thought he'd win.
The idea of that is hilarious.
Yeah.
Of hypnotizing yourself to go on to a show where you're not allowed to laugh.
But I tell you, at one point, because I got stuck with him in the corner for about half an hour, and I realised none of this is being used on TV. It's just McSavage being weird in the corner. And but he was telling me the hypnotism made him. Also, he got the hypnotist to make him his insecurities heightened, and he got him angry. So at one point, I'm talking to him in the corner for 20 minutes, and he goes, And fucking Simon O'Keefe doesn't book me in the Inter. I said, like, this is going on Amazon Prime. You're giving out about some guy in a club in Dublin.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
Did you learn any lessons from it?
Well, I suppose because the production were great. I have to say that. There's some more work.
Yeah.
No, but they want you to really prepare for it.
Yeah.
And they wanted me to go through loads of stuff. And I think they're a bit worried of like, I don't know if what Martin's plan is going in. And I was kind of keeping stuff away from them because I wasn't really sure who was in on what and whatever. Like they told me someone was getting hypnotized. And I was thinking, who'd get hypnotized? And then when Dave walked in, I was like,
Oh,
this
Sid
fucker.
McSavage, yeah.
And then, so I was trying to keep everything loose because I was also like, if you commit to something, you've got 9 comedians in the room who are going to fuck with you. And it's very hard to do it one of your bits anyway because everyone's trying to talk over you and shout.
And comedians can always see a bit coming down the line.
100%.
They're like, as soon as you start a sentence, you're like, all right, I kind of know what this lad's doing here. But you're quite a generous laugher,
Yeah.
but you're also kind of stony-faced at the same time. So did you find it difficult?
It was a bit, I mean, it was like the first hour and a half was difficult because, that's when everyone's really going for it.
And you have the politeness of like,
you know what
somebody
happened to
tells
me?
a joke, you politely
The
laugh,
smile and stuff.
even if it's not funny.
Yeah, did a lot of that the Lilac. But there was a thing where early on, one of my other big bits was I was making a chili, and
Like a pot of chili.
like a big pot of chili, and they had like a trap door, and they were going to swap it for like a cold one. So 4 hours later in a slow cooker, and I was going to pick it up and have a fake bottom. So I let it open and I'd fall into it.
Yeah.
Do like a big Charlie Chaplin thing.
Yeah.
So 1 minute into the show, they go, straight away, Martin, make your chili. There's no sharp knives. So I cut my finger with a butter knife. And I'm bleeding for about...
How the fuck do you cut yourself with a butter knife?
Well, because it's like you're trying to cut sweet potatoes and stuff. It's very... You're not meant... they wouldn't trust us with sharp knives. So I'm bleeding for ages. So I'm in and out with the fucking...
This is real. Like
This
you're
is all
actually-
real.
Okay, yeah.
But then I have to keep the joke going. I'm still making a chili, guys. And I was like, you're bleeding into it. I'm like, it'll work out, don't worry. And about...
Putting my blood and sweat into this goddamn chili.
yeah. But then it was never used in the show. But every time something would happen, like every sort of 40 minutes, I'd be like, I'm just going to check on that chili. Right? And after about 4 hours, and we never sorted out a queue of like, so when do I know when you've stopped it? Like no one knew how to do it.
Yeah.
And after about 4 hours, I think it was like Ashley B's like, you still making that chili? And then there's a gap where, when someone goes out, you're allowed to laugh and stuff. And it's about 5 hours and everyone goes, so what's the bit with this chili? Like, You've done nothing with it. You've done nothing with it. And I had to be like, I'm just making a chili, guys. And in the end, I just made a chili for no reason.
It's still funny in hindsight, though.
Funny in hindsight.
When you were you gigging in America after that went out?
No. When did we film that? No, I think it was only when I was back from America. I don't know how it did. I don't know if it did well or not in America at all.
Yeah, I've no idea.
I know in England. I've been to the UK a bit more, and people have seen it over there.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
So when you were gigging...
It's in Ireland, really. That's where they focused it.
Yeah.
And the great thing is, it's the thing I get stuff for the most now, between that and stand-up, and it's people go, I saw you on that Amazon show, well done. Then the same amount of people go, I see you were on that Amazon show. I'm not paying for fucking Amazon. I'm like, get a free trial like I did and just get rid of it after you watch it.
Yeah. I seen you on the side of a bus moving fast.
Yeah.
When you were in the States, you and Jer did loads of gigs?
Not together in the States.
Not together.
Separately, but yeah.
Is everything okay?
I know. Couldn't book the... Well, yeah, they'd fly over a proper Irish guy one at a time. They couldn't really fly.
Sure. So were you gigging? You did loads of gigs.
I did a good run, yeah.
Were you gigging in front of people who had no idea who you were? Yeah.
It was a mix. Some gigs...
Because you're big enough online.
Yeah, but at that time I wasn't really as...
Yeah.
I sort of got all my clips and stuff from those American gigs.
Right.
But I was on like the Tri Channel and there was a few little bits. So people came from little bits that I'd done. So there's a guy, Dave Nihill, who's huge.
Yeah.
So most of the audience would come for him. Then I'd be like, because of online stuff, I'd be the second. Like I'd say maybe, say the room's like 200 people. He'd have 150 in. I might have 20.
Right.
And then Sean Finnerty, who was on the Tonight Show, no one.
No way.
He'd done stand up on the Tonight Show, and it just isn't TV's not a thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
How did you find those American gigs?
The best, because they're the best clubs. even with there's a, like slightly annoying table service stuff, but it's all sort of quick and you don't really notice it. Everyone's just the attitude towards stand up over there. I don't know. Everyone just like sort of goes out for like, oh, this is going to be great. Yeah, it was the best, and getting to see these like go to the Comedy Store. Did one night in the Comedy Store, and I have a bit about it where it was in LA 2 nights before the Oscars, and Chris Rock came in to try out material because he was about to do a big tour.
Oh
before
shit!
The
So
slap.
this is before the slap.
Right before 2 nights before the slap.
Did you say, here, I've got an idea? I've got a great joke about G.I. Jane. T-shirt alopecia, man, it'll kill. It'll fucking kill, Chris.
Yeah.
Lovely stuff.
But he was only in the middle room. There's 3 rooms. There's a
Yeah.
bottom room, which is like had Mark Maron, which is 300 seats. Then middle room, 100 seats. Chris Rock there, trying out whatever. At the time, he was doing material about he got divorced from his wife, Chris Rock. She caught him cheating on him.
Oh.
Cheating on her. And he's making lots of jokes about the divorce and the wife. And I was thinking he's very funny, but he's very confident though. And I'm watching from the back of the room thinking, I kind of think he needs a slap. He's a bit too
confident.
A bit too cocky, But and then because it fills up with people because it's Chris Rock, and he has his own security who kicks out comedians. So if you're a comedian, you can wander around the back of the comedy club, and just watch every show. So I go up to the little room, and there's a guy dying on his hole. No idea. So open mic, comment, whatever. Dies on his hole. I'm gonna get out of here. And then the MC goes back up. And he goes, I don't even know who's on next. And he gets handed a piece of paper, and he goes, oh, it's Bill Burr. And Bill Burr wanders up to 40 people.
Wow.
3 lads at the back give him a standing ovation. No one else knows who he is.
No way.
And he's trying out stuff. He had a funny bit about he was giving it about women, where he was saying you can't be a feminist if you're like a 10 out of 10 stunning woman because you've had it too easy. And he's like, unmemorable women move mountains was sort of the argument of the bit, whatever. But he was in LA where every woman is a stunning, 10 out of 10.
Piece of woman.
So all the women hated him.
Yeah.
And he just got angry. He was like, oh, I feel bad for all you young fucking people. Oh, yeah, all this. Yeah. So that was fun to see.
So did you see any of the jokes that Chris Rock eventually did on the
No, well, I
Oscars?
think he just completely changed tack because he took time off after the slap and then came back with this show. And he didn't even talk about the slap for a while. So I only got to see about maybe 2 minutes of him before I was kicked. Another true story was I was over in 2020 before the lockdown, and I was in San Francisco. And there was a guy, they're all going, you got to meet this guy. He opens for Chappelle when Chappelle plays San Francisco. And I'm like, okay, sure. And he looked homeless. He was pushing a shopping trolley. And they were like, this is the guy. And I'm like, what's the deal? And he had a shopping trolley full of hand sanitizer. And what he did was he traveled to North San Francisco because there was no hand sanitizer in South. Wow. And he was going around selling it out of this shopping trolley. He's like, yeah, I'm the guy who supports Chappelle. And they're all like, this is Martin from Ireland, right? And he's a black guy. And he goes, from Ireland. He goes, this nigga's a paddy? That was his first sentence to me.
I think you got the next title of your album.
I know. I'd be like, that's not actually your word to use, mate. It's be one of us to be able to say
that. What do you hate about comedy?
That's a great question. Well, only get myself in trouble now. I mean, there's a lot of there's a lot to hate, isn't there? Stand-up wise, a lot of other comedians can be annoying. I love comedians though, and comedy festivals stuff where I'll get to hang out is great. But then you see there's certain comedians who you see the delusion. Like I remember starting out because the people you start out with, you hang out with obviously, and then once you get, I remember thinking every show I was on, I'd watch the whole show early on. And then you see the headliners come in and out and just like, oh, why did you do that? And now I'm that person. Yeah. I just walk into a club when I'm on, fuck off.
Yeah. You arrive in 5 minutes before you go on stage.
A little bit of that.
Yeah.
A little bit of that.
Have just 1 pint.
Yeah. I'll still manage for you.
You'll still manage to slip a few pints into a 25-minute set.
Listen, I'll be gigging somewhere and then
I'll go, leave it on the speaker.
Yeah, me and Jerry have this running thing where we're like, if we're doing a gig and we don't know everyone else in the lineup, we're like, when am I on? Right, 10 o'clock. From 9, I'll be 2 doors down having pints. Come back in. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. And especially now, got all the, I suppose, online stuff. And, it's a leveler. I can sell more tickets now because of clips online and stuff. But everyone's going for that. And everyone has this sort of business mind in comedy. And we have the same thing of, the old school days of mindset of like you're just doing this for the laugh of it.
Yeah, it's a sort of a hobby that became a job.
Yeah,
and also, it was a way to hang out with the funniest people.
exactly. That's what I love about it.
Yeah.
And now it's becoming less. There's more people, but less of them are funny.
I think younger people tend to be they got a clear idea as to what they want and how to achieve their goals, and they've less, and younger generation just drink less as well.
Yeah, that's true as well. Yeah.
I mean, what is it about? Apart from the only profession where you're allowed to drink during the job, what was it about comedy that attracted you to it?
I got a funny drinking story actually last week.
It's not the time or place. How do you think the election's going to go? No, go on. Sorry, go on.
We were in, me and Jer, another comedian, we were in the Netherlands for a week and in this pub in Amsterdam and sat there and it's Halloween and there's this guy trying up this woman at the bar. We're at the end of the bar having a pint and place full of stoners and this guy's trying to try this woman up and they decide to have an arm wrestle. And we're at the end of the bar.
Sorry, the man and the woman?
Yeah.
Having an arm wrestle?
Yeah, a flirty arm wrestle.
Okay.
They don't know each other, but they're having a flirty arm wrestle. And then
it's like something you'd see in Longford.
Yeah. It was
and the woman would win.
He was Dutch and she was French. It's a far cry from Longford, but they're beside me doing it, right? Back and forth. And he's doing it, he's letting her go, ooh, you got a little bit here. And then you go back and, ooh, you getting me again? And then back. And then,
I hate this guy.
Yeah, I know. And then he threw in a little snap. But her arm was at the end of the bar, and he broke her arm.
Holy shit! Right?
Yeah.
Like Jeff Goldblum in The Fly.
I'd never seen an arm broken before.
Oh,
like the crack of it, right? And she's on the ground, screaming in pain, screaming, and because the pub is full of stoners, no one does anything. Jerry literally goes to the barman, "Can you ring an ambulance?" And he's Dutch, and he goes, "It'll cost us money to ring an ambulance." So she's literally on the ground screaming for about 5 minutes and her mate doesn't do anything and Jer has to ring an ambulance, all this sort of stuff, commotion.
DP, just put some DP on it, man.
But the funny part was, that wasn't funny enough, 5 seconds before the crack of her arm, it's like someone snapped a cow in half. The 5 seconds before that, as her arm wrestling beside me, Jer leans in and calmly goes, "What's your pint?" And I swear, after she was on the ground screaming, I was like, that was close. That was very close.
Thanks for the warning there, Joe. Mystic Meg.
Another funny one about drinking with Fred Cook. I'm sure Fred won't mind me telling this. We were gigging in Kerry. I was opening for him. And afterwards, loads of pints and whatever. And then we're walking back to the beach. Oh, he stops for Supermax. And he's got like a garlic cheese chips. And we're stumbling back to the hotel. And a young fella who'd been at our gig is leaning against a lamppost in Listowel. He just goes, "Here, Fred, do something funny." And Fred gives him a polite wave. And as he does, he slips and he falls and splats his garlic cheese chips. And the guy leaning against the lamppost goes, "Fair play, Fred, fair play."
Wow, such commitment.
Fred acted like he did it on purpose. You know, Fred.
I'll be doing it again at 9 o'clock. Be sure to tip your waitress. You're an aficionado of pints, of pubs. You love pints.
You know, this is what's coming. I've been doing all these I do like Ireland AM and Miriam. And like the third question in, they always like, "And you love a pint, don't you?" Is this appropriate for daytime television?
I feel like though you're just at the level of success and youth.
Yes.
That it's not sad.
No.
Like I don't think people will be asking you with such glee when you're like 47. Like, so Martin, you love a pint, don't you? It'll be asked like that.
Yeah. George Best.
I have some theories as to what makes a great pub.
Oh yeah, go on.
A few things. Has to have carpet on the floor, at least at some part of the pub. Which seems impractical because carpet is the worst thing for spilled pints.
Yes.
So it shows a sort of a commitment and a level of, I don't know, it's like they don't care if the pub absolutely stinks. So all good pubs have carpet at somewhere on the floor.
Yeah.
A good pub has to look like it was designed by a grandmother and a grandfather together. It's like your granny's living room and your grandfather's shed amalgamated to create this monster of an inside-out blown-up skip.
Oh yeah.
So a wheelbarrow on the ceiling, a hurley, sort of random shite stuck to the wall with bad wallpaper. Those are things that immediately put me at ease when I walk into a pub.
Yeah.
Maybe a turf fire as well,
Yeah.
if I'm being fancy.
I'll go with that. Yeah.
What makes a good pub for you?
Well, you know what I like, and it's not necessary, but I do like it. Puts me at ease if I see all the bar staff wearing ties.
Really?
Yeah.
Ties?
Yeah.
Now, as
It's in Dublin. It's in
opposed to polo shirts. I don't like polo shirts.
Don't like a polo shirt now.
Don't like a polo shirt.
If everyone's wearing a shirt, if everyone's
polo shirt with a little emblem of the pub. No.
No.
Too fancy.
Too fancy.
But ties.
Yeah.
I like that.
Smart tie. Yeah. I like that. I'm a big fan of that. What's your opinion on music in a pub?
Okay. Like I like a jukebox in a dive bar. I like a dive, like an American style dive bar with a jukebox, because I was never into pool, I was never into darts, I was just shit at both of them.
Right.
But I was good at the old jukebox.
I think one of the first times we one-on-one went for pints together, it was what's the one beside Vicar Street.
Yeah, I remember.
And
Yeah.
you spent about 20 minutes at the jukebox.
20 minutes at jukebox. Yeah, I love a good jukebox.
Yeah.
I like imposing my tastes on other people.
Yeah.
My cousin thinks I've got something
There's a
wrong.
lot of Hanson. You played a lot of Hanson up there.
You played a lot of Diddy.
I did.
I see you're wearing a free Diddy t-shirt
Yes.
for the listeners
For the
at
listeners.
home. Brave choice.
Tell you about Diddy. Like, I'm pretty sure, like, everyone's going on about the fucking ultimate lube in his house and stuff. I'm pretty sure he didn't buy all that. All the dildos and all the lube. I imagine, like, celebrities are weird people. It was like a dinner party. Then you turn up with a bottle of wine. You know.
So like
the Obamas
Justin
turn up.
Bieber is arriving up to his gaff at 15 years old. And he's like, hey, I didn't know what you got. I just got like it's wrapped up in like crepe paper. It's a nice
Exactly.
big 5 litres of baby
Brack and
oil.
Michelle going, we got you.
Maybe he just had a huge baby.
Yeah.
Maybe somewhere in Diddy's house there's a fucking 12-foot tall gigantic baby
Yeah.
that he has to keep lubricated.
Exactly. That's it.
It's got eczema. I was looking into it. It's fucking crazy shit. So yeah, Justin Bieber, like when he's 15, was put under Diddy's not control, but he basically had not ownership, but you know if you're like minding a child,
Right. Like the Britney Spears thing.
you're legally minding a child
Right.
for 48 hours. So P Diddy had
Legally minding. I have children I've illegally minded.
P Diddy, I can't remember the exact fucking term. P Diddy had like minded he minded Justin Bieber for like 48 hours, and it was all legal. Like the fucker had his lawyer get involved. He's like got
Right.
paperwork.
Wow.
I don't know the last time I've babysat where I'm like, I need to get some fucking lawyers in here. But like what Jacko did, it's innocent by comparison.
Yeah.
Like Jack would bring a load of kids over and like, here's a roller coaster, here pet my monkey. And like that's not a euphemism, Martin.
Yeah.
It just seems quaint.
Wouldn't
by
it be great if
comparison.
Jackson was still around and he can rock back into town now and be like, now who's bad?
No.
That's an old Jerry Sutton punchline. I can't take credit.
Now who's off the wall? Oh Christ!
Lovely stuff.
What was I going to say?
Oh, pubs. Back to pubs, though.
Yes,
So, what's your favorite? Do you have a favorite pub?
I mean I like Fibbers, but it's not for Fibbers is an anomaly.
Yeah.
I like Fibbers because they have like heavy metal bands playing for free.
Yeah.
They've got a great heavy metal jukebox.
Yeah.
They sort of buck fast, and I feel like there's an amazing mix of people.
Yes.
Sometimes, especially Southside pubs, can feel very homogenized.
Yeah.
You just see the same people on their phones in Southside pubs. But Fibbers, you can get anyone going to Fibbers. You can get like Japanese businessmen playing pools against Dublin alcoholics, goths and punks, and people from kind of all walks of life go to Fibbers. That's what I feels like the 90s.
Yeah.
And I notice nobody's ever on their phone because there's always interesting shit to look at.
That's true. That is
And
very
I
true.
like that about Fibbers. But it's not your quintessential Irish pub.
No,
No, it's a rock bar.
it's a rock bar.
Yeah.
It's quite nice. And then there's a great pub in Castlebar, the Harp. Now it sort of goes against everything I like, but I don't know if it's cash only, but it's they have 3 TVs, and it's all full of old fellas, the size of this podcast studio, and they have 3 TVs playing 3 different sports at the same volume. And it's like old fellas, it's their version of meditation. It's how they relax.
Yeah, there's a level of 3 commentators shouting at you that becomes a white noise eventually.
I was there with Jared doing his gig in Castlebar, and I was sitting there going, this pub is annoying. And Jared goes, yeah, it's pretty horrible. And then 3 TVs are playing, and then another old fella comes in and he turns on the jukebox. Like Tom Jones starts playing in the middle of fucking dog racing. And but I came around to it. I was like, I get it. I do love going to a pub before a gig, writing my set, and you just think.
I love being in a pub when there's a film on the telly and like a sex scene comes on and it's just old lads watching it. And that sense of unease and awkwardness, and to hear who speaks first and what they say. Yeah. I remember Declan Declan Lynch wrote a book called Poor Old Fellas, and he said he remembers being in a pub and the film Quest for Fire was on. And in the film, a caveman and a cavewoman, a caveman, like, I don't know if it's how rough it is, but a caveman basically just had sex with a cavewoman. So you can imagine like 2 like fucking hairy monkey people just going at it.
Yeah.
He's in the pub and like 3 old lads watching it in silence, in like stony silence.
Yeah.
And then one of them just turns to the other and just said, there was snow in Clonmel there today. That's my favourite. That's my favourite place to be. A bunch of like Catholic oppressed Irish old men forced to watch a sex scene.
Yeah,
that's my kink.
There's the opposite. There's pub, the Crowbar, attached to the Button Factory.
Oh yeah.
And what they used to do in there was that's what used to be where I drank during the pandemic. When I was outdoor drinking, but then when I slightly opened insides, we were drinking outside a lot, and we became friends with the bar staff. But they have a screen and they show movies, but it was a random. They had some dodgy thing where it's like whatever, they play random films. But it's a lot of Brazilians go in, foreigners, so they're all like having a great time. Like there's music playing, but there's a film in the background you can vaguely hear. So like a lot of the time it'd be like Troy, or Toy Story 2 or something.
Such a weird film to put on. Troy.
But I don't even think
who wants to watch fucking Troy?
I think they turn on this box and whatever film they just go through.
Right, okay.
And I remember one night going in and I was like, all these Brazilians dancing, whatever. And it's like Schindler's List. And you're like, this is inappropriate. This isn't right.
Wait for the shower scene. Then we'll head to another pub.
Snow and Clonmel.
Lovely stuff.
Have you ever had a real job?
No. I'm one of those I started comedy when I was in college.
Yeah.
So I was too young, really.
Yeah.
I did one summer in a kitchen. As my godfather was a head chef in a kitchen. And so I, did a bit of... if I wasn't a comedian, I'd probably be a chef. Actually. Really? I really liked it, yeah. I like cooking. And...
so were you working in food prep, or what were you doing?
Yeah, we do a bit of dishwashing, and then it was moved on to like, chopping vegetables, preparing salads. They let me do one shift in the kitchen, I made burgers and fish and chips, and that was tough, especially like hot kitchen. But all the chefs are mental, and maybe I'm mental as well, being a comedian, but I felt a kinship. I like these people.
I think, I think kitchen staff are a rare breed, and it's probably something we can relate to. I think they're addicted to the buzz and the madness of a kitchen.
Yeah.
It's probably why some of them do cocaine.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't deal with the stress of working in a fucking kitchen. No. I just couldn't do it. Or even a waiter. I've never been a waiter.
I hate that.
Like, I've worked in bars, and that's, to me, is like, that's as stressful as I can get.
Yeah.
But I just know if somebody was telling me what they want in their meal, I'd just be daydreaming.
Yeah.
I'd just be going, look at his jumper. Did he choose to buy that jumper? Or was the wife bought him that jumper?
Yeah.
So was that your only job?
That's my only kind of job, yeah.
And were you good at it?
That's pretty good, and I really love the camaraderie of it.
Yeah.
I think the lads were like, I was young, so I was in like fucking transition year, and that summer. So yeah, all the chefs were cool, and there was one guy, the sous chef, who was I think an older guy, used to be a head chef, and he was like, he was on all these. He'd always be taking like paracetamol and stuff, and he'd be like, whatever you do, don't become a fucking chef. He'd throw down a tray of risotto. Don't become a fucking chef.
It does sound like people talking about comedy.
Yeah. Oh, there's so many people I could name. I won't.
Do you have a favorite conspiracy theory?
Conspiracy. I never got into conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
Do you?
I feel like they've gone mental.
Yeah.
I feel like there was a time where conspiracy theories were like interesting and fun. Like right up to the mid 90s, where like JFK was killed by the CIA, or the CIA fucking brought crack cocaine into the inner cities to fucking to fuck up the inner cities, and they were like interesting and fun. But now conspiracy theories are like, oh, the Jews control the weather, and you're like, all right, man, I'm not. That's not fun. I don't want to hear that.
Yeah. I mean, clearly,
the Democrats are trying to turn your children trans. You're like, no, come on, man, get back to the fun stuff.
Right. Please don't control the weather. I mean, it's global warming. They don't like the sun.
If they are controlling the weather, they're doing a very bad job of it. It's such. I talked to Annie Farmer in Cavan. It was a terrible year for hay. Them Jews want to up their game.
Have you ever seen a ghost?
No. Always fascinated by them as a kid, terrified of them. Wanted to see a ghost, never saw a ghost. You know any ghost stories?
I've heard a few ghost stories, and quite compelling. Yeah. A friend of mine, my best mate, he was going through stress in his old job, and he does believe it was stress related because he had visions. Like he'd be in his house and he'd come out of the bathroom, and he called it a woman in white, to be like a woman in like a white dress, just drenched, and just was standing there. And it happened so much that he like initially you're fucking terrified, and then he got so normalized. He was like, all right, it was all faster.
Oh my god!
And then he saw another one called well, again he just made it up, the Colonel. So a guy who he was a bit like Columbo. He's like a big Columbo jacket,
like a trench coat.
Yeah, a big trench coat,
rubbing his head.
Yeah, glass eye. And he walked past him at the bus stop, and then he turned around and he was gone.
Huh.
Whatever he called him, Columbo.
Yeah.
And and I've heard a few ghost stories from people.
Your parents or family ever tell you ghost stories? Where are your parents from?
No. Huh?
Where are your parents from?
It's from here and there. My mother's from Namibia. Above South Africa.
Where's she really from?
Oh, that was another Bernard Manning one. There's another Bernard Manning one where he goes, bloke goes into his local Chinese takeaway. You know it's bad. You know it's going to be bad.
I don't know. I'm listening. It could be a really nice, culturally sensitive story about a Chinese man.
Okay, for the context.
Thank God I said Chinese man.
A man of China. He goes, for the context, it's not him doing stand-up. It's him being interviewed. He's in a cafe eating his breakfast.
What?
I'll show you the clip after, but it's him in a wife beater, belly hanging out, eating breakfast in a cafe. And he's eating away and he goes,
I think you're supposed to say wife abuser.
He goes, here's one. A labourer goes into his local Chinese takeaway. He goes, where's your bin? And the Chinese guy goes, Hong Kong. He goes, no. Where's your bin? He goes, no, Hong Kong. He goes, no. Where's your wheelie bin? He goes, I've really been to Hong Kong. And then he takes a bite of a sausage and he goes, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that.
See, the problem I have with that is not... the problem I have with that is not for like reasons of like racism.
No.
It's actually as a comedian.
Yeah.
Because I think the original joke is where it was supposed to be from the Chinese person's perspective, where he says, where you been?
Yeah.
Where you really been? I mean, I feel like I'm cancelling myself as I'm
Yeah, no, you're
explaining
fine.
this
Yeah,
Bernard Manning joke. But there's like I'm more annoyed. I'm less annoyed by like racist jokes, but I'm more annoyed by like poorly thought out racist jokes.
Yeah.
I want my racist jokes to be
Yeah.
sensical.
Exactly.
Lovely stuff.
Yeah. I love the old school comics. I don't know if I told you this before. I was in Ennis earlier in the year, and there's a guy, Conal Gallen. You know, yeah.
Conal Gallen.
Conal Gallen. And he's in the big room.
Yeah.
And I'm in the small room. And I remember turning up going, I don't know.
That's a perspective smack in the face, isn't it?
Well, there's an element. We turned up and I was going like, oh, there's a lot of people here. And they're all fucking 70. And they're going to Conal Gallen, who I didn't know. But because he had a chair, the sort of the green room area.
We're here for the edgy black chap.
I could sneak into his sort of side stage. So I want to start his set. And he does 2 sets. And the first set, he goes up in a sparkling jacket and he sings a Rod Stewart medley to open.
No
I was
way.
like, this is great. He's old school entertainment.
Yeah.
But he's doing all the old jokes. In the second half, he changes and he comes out in a Hawaiian shirt and yellow trousers.
Hilarious already.
It's already hilarious. It's all old gags like I can't really do his voice, but he's like
It's a sort of a Northern Ireland. Oh, it's a kind of Monaghan accent, is it?
yeah, kind of. And it's every joke starts with, and did you hear the one about Murphy who went to the doctor there and he said to the doctor, I'm having terrible headaches. And the doctor's like, try sex with the wife. And he comes back the next week and he goes, sure, doctor, your advice was great. And you have a lovely sitting room. You sleep with the doctor's wife.
He had sex with a doctor's
Yeah,
wife.
sex with the doctor's
That's
wife.
so unprofessional.
Anyway.
Like there's a respect you give medical professionals. That man just completely just dissolved.
Yeah. So anyway, after the gigs, our gigs finished at the same time, and there's a guy I started with called Harry Smith. He used to live in Ennis. He lives in Ennis, and I got him to do a few minutes. So he hadn't done stand up in fucking years.
Yeah.
And we're going through the hallway, and Gallen walks past us in his yellow trousers and his Hawaiian shirt, and he looks at he knew I was in the small room. He goes asking, good show tonight. And Harry, who hasn't done stand up in 5 years, goes, thanks, man, yeah.
Ignoring the implied question mark at the end of his statement.
So,
Do you know what? With a Northern Ireland accent, it's kind of hard. Good show tonight.
Yeah.
Thank you. Actually, they're very, very hard to read.
But here, before we finish up, what's your take? What's going to happen in the election? What's your prediction?
Oh man, I don't know.
See if it comes true.
I think, I kind of think Harris might win.
Yeah?
Kind of think Harris might win.
It'll be close. It's going to be close.
It's going to be close. Do you think if Trump loses, what if, like, you remember when Hitler lost? Remember when, like, chips were down on old Hitler? And he was like, I'm just going to fucking kill myself and everyone around me. Do you think if Trump loses badly and he decides to do the bunker and just goes, okay, we're going to just all kill ourselves, we'll take this tablet, how many of his, like, boys around him would join him in suicide? Hitler style.
Oh, Musk will be in on that. I doubt it. I don't know. I think Musk will have a meltdown.
I mean, like J.D. Vance, like the two sons.
Oh, yeah.
Ivanka. And Ivanka's out, man. Yeah. She's gone. The wife and Ivanka, they're too cute. They're gone, man.
Yeah. Melania's not.
But, like, if Trump decided to, like, take a suicide pill, take some cyanide.
Yeah. Melania would pretend to swallow. Not for the first time. And... well, I'm like Mort Saul over here. All this political humour. But
well, on that bombshell,
can I just say as well, the American elections put fucking Irish politics into perspective. No one gives a fuck. No, who cares what Michael D. Higgins has to say about anything?
Not even Michael D. Higgins.
I think Higgins is older than Biden. He's 2 years older than Biden.
Yeah, but I mean, he has less power. I mean, they just wheel him out to read some poetry or cut some.
Higgins is good on his feet. He can still move around.
I love Higgins, man.
Yeah, I love Higgins as well.
I love him.
Say compared to Biden.
Do you remember, like, when the Irish election, Sean Gallagher, like, was he a property man? I can't remember. He was from Cavan, I remember.
Was he not one of the Irish Dragons Den?
Yeah, he was on Irish Dragons Den. Yeah. Big businessman. he was like almost going to win until like Martin McGuinness.
Yeah.
Like
Destroyed him.
It was like Martin McGuinness hadn't a chance of winning, destroyed him with like a brown envelope comment, and he got him to say like, I don't know anything about no brown envelopes, and then I remember the audience in prime time just went, oh, holy shit. It was like, that's getting sampled. Like, that's going to be in like a fucking hip hop track.
Right.
And it was like Martin McGuinness at the end, like Empire Strikes Back, where like Darth Vader just lifts up the Emperor and just fucks him into a fucking hole. Martin McGuinness was like this sort of dark knight who saved us from a really boring egg-shaped president. And we were left with this lovely Gaeilge hobbit.
Wasn't the hero we was it Batman Man? Whatever.
I don't know, man. The hero we deserve.
Yeah, that kind of thing. It's like with like, you know, obviously the Democrats think if Trump wins, he's gonna fuck the country, and Republicans think if Harris wins, she's gonna fuck the country. But and they all have the criticisms of each other. Like, you know, we all know the criticisms of Trump, and like all the Democrats, all the Republicans are like, you know, Harris is mates with fucking P. Diddy. So at least if she fucks the country, she'll use lube. All right, come on now.
See, I know you kept that conversation going just to drop that 60% good joke.
60% good. It was too long. It was too long, but you know, I'm not really a political commentator.
Yeah.
But I've had whiskey, so.
Yeah, you're no Stephen Colbert. Or
like a drunk Jordan Peterson.
Lewis Black.
Lewis Black, yeah. What does Jerry Lewis think about the election? Lady!
Well, this has been a lovely conversation with the very talented Martin Angolo. Check him out whenever he's having a gig next, probably in about 6 months' time.
You know what? You got me at the... I've got like a TV thing that I can't even talk about yet.
Oh my God.
Like commission for something.
Oh my God.
So, if I can get me, I'll come back.
Come back on the show.
I'll fucking do a gig next year and I'll fucking plug that.
Sweet.
I'll be doing gigs in the new year. They'll be on my... I don't know.
Social media is the word he was grasping for there.
Yeah. Instagram, Martin Angolo Comedy.
Martin, this has been lovely chat.
I just plugged my thing. Do you want to say it again? Martin Angolo Comedy.
Martin Angolo Comedy.
Thank you.
On Instagram. Very talented, beautiful comedian. Martin Angolo. This has been lovely. You have been lovely. Thank you very much.
This show is part of the HeadStuff Podcast Network, a hub for the creative and the curious. Shows are produced in association with HeadStuff and the Podcast Studios Dublin. Find out more or become a member at headstuffpodcasts.com.